Boo. Yeah, that's right. Didn't expect me here, did you? I'm usually vertical. If you don't know, I'm Key. Yes, it is short for something. You gotta guess. My working pronouns are they, them, and this is my first YouTube video. That means that it's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life, and if anybody hears me, I'm gonna die. If you are here, I'm assuming that you came from my TikTok, or you're just somebody who knows me interpersonally. Hi, this one's for the homies. On my TikTok, I do a lot of Star Trek and literary memes, as well as cosplay when my crumbling old man body doesn't constrain me to being horizontal. I will not be doing most of those things here. I'm gonna be talking about movies, doing some media analysis, probably gonna have some of my friends on here. This is just for fun. I love talking. And I'm hoping that I can spare some of my friends and family from the unceasing stream of words by getting some of it out of my system. And hopefully I have fun doing it. Hopefully people enjoy this. I don't know. I've actually wanted to do this for a while, but I was, intimidated by the prospect of learning about cameras and microphones and getting that kind of equipment. And then I went to school for cameras and microphones, and then I got a job where I operate cameras and microphones. So I figured I was about set. That about does it, I think, so why don't we just get our grimy little paws into it. Now, I debated a lot about what I wanted my first video to be, and I decided on, drumroll if you're into that, I guess, summer horror films. Yay! Now, originally it was gonna be summer slashers, but I have to admit that I don't watch a lot of slashers. However, I love the horror genre. I love all the directions it can go, and I love practical effects. Wet Puppets, as Scaredy Cats calls them. If you like horror, go watch their channel. It's great. This list is in no particular order. It's just a bunch of horror movies that I think feel the same sweaty, gritty, nasty way that summer feels to me. Everybody thank the late-stage capitalism hell spiral for making these films truly immersive. Thank you. Oh, and if you want to watch any of these movies, I would recommend just checking the triggers. I'm sure you're very big and tough, but stay safe, okay? First, let's get this one out of the way. We're all thinking it. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie is actually one of the things that knocked this out of being a slasher list for me. I could not leave this movie out of a list of summer horror. I just couldn't do it. I love this movie. I love large butch women, and I love chili, so of course this had to go on here. Oh, that's gross. Not my best, though. Seriously, though, this earns its spot simply by virtue of being one of the grimiest feeling movies I've ever watched. It leaves you feeling gross. I watched the Fly remake for the first time while eating pizza, and this movie was the one that made me feel like I had a film of grease on me. If cannibalism and killing humans, like hogs, isn't your thing, maybe don't watch this one. Rest in peace, Nubbins. I would have let you info dump about head cheese. Please tell me more, King. They were so mean to him. Next, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Okay, so if you're expecting even remotely the same experience as the first movie, don't. This is a goofy-ass slasher movie about a lesbian DJ and everyone's favorite dysfunctional family. Hilarity ensues, it does. The soundtrack owns My Girlfriend is there, Bill Moseley is there. I think they lean a little too hard on recreating the dinner scene, and some of the movie's jokes fell flat for me. I don't blame anyone for thinking this movie is annoying. It often is. It's so silly, though. It's a great palate cleanser after watching the first one. The practical effects and the sets are all so fantastic, and so's the soundtrack. Filmmakers, why did we stop getting silly with it to Oingo Boingo? Why? Next is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. One of my favorite activities is reading bad reviews of my favorite movies on Letterboxd, because I like a lot of bad movies. And a lot of people called this movie homophobic, which I don't quite understand because it's just straight up gay. This movie is gay, Jesse is gay, these two are gay, this guy is gay, and we have a final boy who needs rescuing by his beard, I mean girlfriend. I like the effects a lot. I like this dance scene. Why did we stop putting dance scenes in movies? For no particular reason. It doesn't need to relate to the plot or anything. I mean in non-dance movies. I guess David Lynch never stopped doing that. I have a lot of opinions on movies and how they're made for someone who doesn't make movies and who isn't going to school to make movies. Anyway, next one, Evil Dead 2. Do you notice a pattern? Yeah, you do. Because sequels are always where directors are willing to get silly with it. Yes, we get it, you're cool and gritty, and that last sequence lasted a normal amount of time, but let's make that man scream like a girl. This movie is so silly. And if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, you should definitely watch it. He's playing future stoned beer uncle and everybody's favorite transgender twunk, Ash Williams. None of those words are in the Bible, except stoned, I guess. The first half is just him losing his shit in a cabin after his girlfriend dies. It's great. He fights demons with a chainsaw hand and a sawed-off shotgun. You'll be pogging at the screen the whole time. Unless you're watching with me, then you will be listening intently while I tell you how they did the special effects. Okay, next one. Fear Street, 1978. Which is basically Fear Street 2. I love watching all of the Fear Street movies in one sitting with my friends, and this is basically everyone's favorite. Not mine, though. I'm a lesbian who likes historical horror, so this is shocking to no one. I am also a tragedy enjoyer, which most of my friends are not. The whole series, just in its entirety, is an homage to slashers, and this one is very much an homage to Friday the 13th, especially Friday the 13th Part 2. There's great parallels throughout the whole series. The soundtrack bangs. I think these two should kiss. This shot right here makes me go hog wild every time. I'll start hooting and hollering like an ape every time I see that scene. If you want to watch this one, I seriously recommend committing to the entire trilogy. I promise you can get through the first half of the first movie. I promise. It gets better, I promise. Friday the 13th Part 2. What, you thought I'd mention the homage and then just skate right past? Ain't no way, brother. I had to include a Friday movie here, obviously, and I'm going with this one. It's the first appearance of adult Jason Voorhees, so it's pretty iconic for that. He's living in a little cabin, nursing his mommy issues, wearing a sack while he's there alone, normal things. And he kind of gets his ass handed to him in this one, I can't lie. I like when he's just a guy, and not like a force of nature, not like a Michael Myers The Shape, or like a soul inhabiting meat, that kind of thing. They do say that later in the series. It just kind of undercuts the whole theme of the fact that he's a fellow human who was grossly neglected when he's made into an actual embodiment of evil. I don't know. I'm dumb. I don't make movies. Now I know you're wondering, Key, why isn't the first one in here? It's a classic. It's the original. Let's just move on. And moving on takes us to Psycho 2. Much like Texas Chainsaw, if you go into this wanting more of the first movie, you'll be really disappointed. They want you to want that, though. They're banking on you wanting that if the opening scene is anything to go on. This movie is not the same at all. It's a slasher, baby. With Norman Bates freshly released back into society after 20 years in an institution, this movie follows this old gay man and his new bestie as he spirals back into insanity thanks to the gaslighting and heinous mistreatment of the mentally ill both by society and the government. Yeah, my partner had to tap out during this one. If you're an angst lover and you want to just feel terrible for Norman Bates for a little bit, watch it. It is set in summer and the house feels so hot and claustrophobic and inescapable. Also, Anthony Perkins looks just phenomenal in this. I mean, holy shit, Jesus, he's so hot. What the hell? Is it a cash grab? Yes. A little sleazy sometimes. Yeah. But after the opening sequence, it becomes its own thing, separate from the original, and I enjoy it. It may make you miserable, though, just fair warning. Also, I just ignored the last scene. Feel free to do so yourself. It's dumb. Speaking of dumb, this movie is one of 2 direct sequels to Night of the Living Dead. I like both, but this one is more summery to me and more fun. This movie is so silly. It's got a punk soundtrack, punk characters, and overall a very punk attitude. There is a dance scene that I can't show you because the character dancing is naked, and then the character, named Trash, turns into a naked zombie. Sound like it's in poor taste? It is. I love how many different types of zombies there are. I love how smart they are, and I love how unstoppable they are. The characters do literally everything you should do in this situation. Take out the brain? Too bad. Burn them? Bad idea. It's a fun ride that just keeps the zombies intimidating and has a characteristically bleak ending for being a spiritual successor to Night of the Living Dead. Watch it, it's really good. Next one is, Sleepaway Camp? No, I'm not kidding. This is probably the least accessible one on here, and the one I recommend to new horror fans the least. It's a movie in pretty poor taste, with a notoriously reprehensible ending. However, it's one of the summer camp slashers of all time for me. I wanted to mention it and recommend it in a very specific way. If you want to watch it, Please look up the triggers, especially for this guy. And if you do watch it, you should do what I do. Find the timestamp and end the movie just before the big spooky twist. The big spooky twist is that the main character is trans. Terrifying, I know. Before it shows up in the comments, that's cute that I act like I'm relevant enough to have comments. Before it shows up in the comments, I know she was made to transition, I'm aware, but there are sequels where she keeps living as a woman, so that seems to be how she prefers it. Just skip the ending and watch it as a good for her movie, because if you watch it as a movie about a young, semi-verbal trans girl just killing everyone who bullies her for no reason, it's great. Team Angela forever. We should reclaim her instead of Buffalo Bill, because as far as I know, this Angela isn't a white supremacist. Last one. Killer clowns from outer space. That's right. It's clown time, baby. I have a friend who is a clown, and they don't like when clowns are spooky or scary. And even they think the design and just the silliness of this movie is great. These are not clowns, they're clowns with a K, and they're aliens that have a grotesque Memphis group inspired design. Everything about them owns. The combination of clown imagery with famous science fiction imagery, their laughs, the way they are all clearly different but the same species. I especially like that they only ever laugh, they don't really speak. And I like this balloon dog on a stick. It makes me giggle every time. Also, fair warning, the theme song will get stuck in your head. I'm not joking. It will worm its way in there. Why did we stop making theme songs for movies? Anyway, that's my list. This is my channel. Watch them, don't watch them, I don't care. I just did this for fun. Let me know if you liked them, though. But you should watch Scaredy Cats. If there's anything you take away from this, it's that you should go watch a better channel than mine. Thanks for your help. If you watched this far, stay safe out there. Check you later. She wore blue velvet.